Hello everyone. Welcome to the How to Extend Your Study Permit workshop. My name is Hương Do and I am an international student advisor and immigration specialist at Humber. Today, I'll talk about how to extend your study permit from inside Canada. Before we begin, I would like to start today's session with a land acknowledgement. Humber College is located within the traditional and treaty lands of the Mississauga of the Credit, known as Etobicoke, the place of the elder in Mississauga language. The region is uniquely situated along Humber River watershed, which historically provided an integral connection for Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, and Wyandot peoples between the Ontario Lakeshore and the Lake Simcoe Georgian Bay regions. Now home to peoples of numerous nations, Etobicoke continues to provide a vital resource of interconnection for all. For those attending today's session, our Q&A chat box will open at the end. If you have any questions, please hold on to them and type them into the Q&A box in the left corner of the Teams chat when it becomes available. We will do our best to answer as many questions as possible. However, due to the sensitive nature of some inquiries and the inclusion of personal information, certain questions may not be addressed during the session. In such case, we strongly encourage students to submit their question directly through the International Center contact form. Downtown campus students can submit their question via the My IG Ads portal. Your attention throughout the session is highly appreciated, and this workshop will be recorded for your future references. Please note, this presentation was prepared by a regulated Canadian immigration consultant, RCIC, in compliance with the Canadian Immigration and Refugee Protection Act. This is for informational purposes only and does not constitute legal advice. Immigration laws and procedure change frequent, so the requirements and procedure for applying for your study permit may have changed after this presentation. This presentation was prepared on October 27th, 2025. This presentation is intended for students at Humber Polytechnic, so the information contained herein may not be applicable to students at other academic institutions. In the session today, we're going to walk you through everything you need to know about extending your study permit from inside Canada. First, we'll start with some basic information about study permit. Then, we'll go over the documents you need to extend your study permit from inside Canada and how long it might take to gather things like your Humber or other school documents. After that, we'll explain the application process, like when you should apply, where to apply, how to do it online. We'll also guide you through answering the eligibility questionnaire and filling out the IMM 5709 application form step by step. By the end of this session, you should feel confident about what's needed and how to get started with your study permit extension. Now let's get started. You will need to apply for the study permit extension. So what is a study permit? Study permit is a document that is presented to you upon your initial entry into Canada as a student. It authorizes you to study in Canada. So essentially, your study permit is your status document. It must remain valid until you complete your study. It may authorize you to work on and off campus. It is important to note that a study permit is not the same as a temporary resident visa, TRV, often referred to as a student visa. So the TRV is a counterfoil in your passport. Additionally, the study permit is different from a co-op work permit, which some students may have if your program includes a co-op component. Here is a sample of the study permit for your reference. At the top of the document, you will see the title Study Permit. The first section contains your personal detail, including your name, date of birth, sex, country of birth, country of citizenship. The second section contains key information such as the date of issue, expiration date, institution name, field of study, level of study. Pay close attention to the expiry date. We strongly recommend setting a reminder for the date to ensure you can extend your permits on time. If your permits was issued at the end of 2024 or beginning of 2025, it must list Humber College as your institution. Under the condition, if you are permitted to work, you will see a statement such as may accept employment on or off campus if meeting eligibility criteria, something here. Make sure to review your study permit carefully to understand your status and condition. Here are our recommendations. If you have a Humber study permit and are continuing your study at Humber, applying for an extension at least 3 to 4 months before the expiration date on your study permit. If you studied at other DLI before and wants to change to Humber, please apply for an extension for at least 6 months before your first day of classes at Humber. The reason behind these recommendations are, first, the current processing time for a study permit extension are lengthy, 167 days, which is about 5 to 6 months. Secondly, under the new rule, if you plan to study at a new school, you must have a new study permit that lists the name of your new DLI before you can begin your study. In this part, we will discuss in detail what documents you will need to apply for a study permit extension from inside Canada. First, you must provide proof of your enrollment, which is the confirmation of enrollment for Humber student. Your confirmation of enrollment or COE. Your COE should be from either your current academic semester or the most recent semester if you are currently on a break. For example, if you're studying in fall 2025, then submit your fall 2025 confirmation of enrollment. If you are on a break now and your last semester was summer 2025, then submit your summer 2025 confirmation of enrollment. You can download your COE from your MyHumber account under Student Records, and Confirmation of Enrollment. It is extremely important to check your expected graduation date in your COE. If it is incorrect or show NA, submit a contact form to request an update because your new study permit's validity will be basing on this date. In addition, you must provide the official transcript from all institutions you attended since entering Canada. For Humber student, your Humber official transcript will only be available after your first semester at Humber. You can request Humber official transcript from your MyHumber account. You can choose to have this document emailed or mailed to your address. If you choose mail option, follow the instruction here, and then your transcript will be mailed to your home and delivered within 4 weeks of requesting it. If you choose an electronic version, your transcript will be uploaded to MyCred within 2 to 3 business days. Due to the time difference, we strongly encourage everyone to order the electronic official transcript to avoid the delay. And keep in mind that if you study at other institutions prior to coming into Humber, you must also provide your official transcript from that institution as well. Document number 3, if you are studying a new program at Humber in winter 2026 or summer 2026, you will need to provide a letter of acceptance for the new program. Document number 4 that you will need is a co-op letter if you have a field placement or co-op in your program. Please make sure that the co-op letter is up to date. If it is more than 4 months old, you need to request a new one. Not and lecture student can request a new co-op letter via contact form. Downtown campus student can request this letter through MindIGS portal. For the student who are starting a new program, your co-op letter can be found in the last page of your LOA. Document number 5 is a confirmation of graduation letter if you completed any previous program, either at Humber or at any other school. Document number 6 is provincial attestation letter or PAL. Starting in 2024, all study permit application will require a PAL unless exempt. Please note that you do not need a PAL when applying for the study permit if you are currently inside Canada and you are applying for the study permit extension at the same DLI and level of study as your current study permit. Therefore, if you are applying for the study permit extension to continue the same program you applied your current study permit with, you do not need a PAL. If you're changing program or school, we recommend visiting IRCC website or reaching out to our ISA team for guidance. In the cases that you are required to provide PAL, here are the steps to request it. First, you need to pay tuition deposit for the next program or semester. That would be $3,000 if you're a new student or $2,000 if you are a returning student. Make sure your name, date of birth, and address are correct and up to date. The legal information such as name, date of birth should match the information in your passport. After that, you can submit your PAL request via contact form or visit the International Center in person. Your PAL will be emailed to you within 1 week. If you are exempted from provide provincial attestation letter, write a short letter explaining that you are applying for study permit extension at the same DLI and level of study as your current study permit. Also, attach the following document as a proof. You will need the original letter of acceptance that you used when applying for your current study permit, the most recent confirmation of enrollment letter, and a copy of your current study permit. So we've talked about the education documents that you need. In addition to that, you must also submit several personal documents to complete your application. First, you have to submit all passports that you have used since entering Canada. Make sure you double check the expiry date of your passport, as the new permit cannot be issued beyond the validity of your passport. If you have renewed or replaced your passport due to loss, damage, or theft, you must submit both your previous and current passport. When scanning your passport, ensure you include all pages, including the biological page with your photo and personal detail, and all pages with stamp or information. Other document that you need is a copy of all immigration documents issued to you, including current and previous study permit, visa, work permit. You must show proof that you can afford your study, maybe proof of medical, and a letter to explain your reason to request your study permit extension. We will talk about these in more detail in the next slides. You must submit a digital photo taken within the last 6 months that meets IRCC requirements. You may need to do biometric if required. If you are applying for your study permit extension from inside Canada, there's a very high chance that you already did your biometric before. However, the biometric is only valid for 10 years, and your new permit cannot be issued beyond the validity of your biometric. So we strongly recommend checking if the biometric are still valid for the full duration of your requested permit. If not, please consider doing it again. In terms of application fee, the study permit extension fee is $150. For the most up-to-date information, please visit IRCC website. When you apply for your study permit extension, you need to include proof of financial support. Basically, you have to show that you have enough money in Canadian dollars to cover your living and study expenses while you are in Canada. You can show your financial support in a few different ways, such as through bank statements, proof of education loans, proof of tuition payment, pay stub from your part-time employer. If the money is in your own account, please provide your bank statement that show your name and account number. It's a good idea to include about 4 to 6 months of recent statement. If the money comes from an education loan, provide an official loan letter that clearly explains how much funding you are getting and the loan detail. If the money comes from a family member or another sponsor, you will need to include a signed and dated sponsorship letter confirming that that person willing to support you financially when you are in Canada. Make sure it lists your full name, student number, college name, program name, and study date. You should also include a government photo ID of the sponsor, like passport, the front page. Any document to prove the relationship between you and the sponsor, for example, a birth certificate or family record. Proof that the sponsor have enough money, such as bank statement, income proof, or a letter of employment that show their position and salary. If you already paid your tuition for the current or the next semester, that's great. Make sure you include your payment receipt from Humber College. You can find it on your My Humber under student, student account and fee, account detail for term / Humber College receipt. If you are paying part of your expenses yourself, include a few pay stubs from your part-time job to show your income. Please note that all documents should be merged into one PDF file and uploaded under Proof of Financial Support in your application. Immigration Exam or IME. If you are a health sciences student or have lived outside Canada for more than 6 months in the past year, you may need a valid immigration medical exam. There's a temporary public policy for IME in effect until October 5th, 2029. So if you complete a valid IME within 5 years before submitting your new application and meet certain requirements as shown on the screen here, you may be exempted from doing another one. If you qualify for this exemption, include the IME number from your previous exam in your application and explain that you are exempted. One thing I want to mention is that although this temporary public policy is in place, we strongly recommend students in health science programs such as early childhood education, practical nursing, personal support worker to complete and submit a new IME with their study permit extension application. This is because health science programs often require working with vulnerable populations such as children, elderly, or patients in healthcare setting. If there is no valid IME proving that you pose no risks or low risks to the public or vulnerable sector, IRCC may place restriction on your study permit and co-op work permit. These restrictions could prevent you from completing your co-op placement, which may delay your graduation or affect your eligibility for post-graduation work permit. To avoid any issue, health science students should submit a valid IME when applying for their study permit extension. As we mentioned earlier, we highly recommend that you include a letter of explanation with your application. In this letter, you should explain your situation, education history, and why you required an extension. You may wish to request an official to issue you a new study permit until the end of your study plus 90 days. Recently, we have seen increasing requests from IRCC regarding financial proof. Therefore, we would recommend you to discuss in your letter of explanation how you will finance your remaining tuition and living expenses. If you already explained your finance situation in the proof of financial support, just briefly summarize and say, please refer to my proof of financial support for more detail. If you are in a health science program, remember to include your IME number and date of your IME. Mention that your IME is still valid and politely request that IRCC allow you to work in healthcare setting since it's required for your program. If there is anything not covered in your document or application form, you should also explain it in this letter explanation. This letter should be uploaded under client information in your application. So that's about the document that you need when applying for study permit extension from inside Canada. So now let's talk about how to apply for it. You will need to apply for the study extension online through your IRCC secured account. If you do not have an IRCC secured account, please go to this link here and then click on sign in or create an account to apply online in the sidebar. If you already have an IRCC account, you can use the same account to apply for your study permit extension. After you log in, click on Apply to come to Canada under I do not have a personal reference code. Determine your eligibility and apply online. Click on Visitor Visa, Study and or Work Permit. Then you can start your application. Here is an application process. At first, you will log onto your account and complete the eligibility questionnaire. Based on your answer, the system would generate a list of documents that you will need to submit. After you complete the application and the application form IMM 5709, then uploading the remaining documents, you can pay the application fee, then hit the submit button. Now, I will go to the IRCC website to show you how to start the application online. So go into ircc.canada.ca. This is a page where you are started. Choose a language that you prefer. I'll choose English. And here is a page that you will see. Under your IRCC application, you can click it on your IRCC application. And then going to number 2, under Apply, click Sign into your IRCC account. If you already have an IRCC account, click on Sign into your existing account. And if you don't have an account, click it on You don't have an account and follow the instruction to register for your new account. Once you click it on that one, choose Study Permit since you are applying for the Study Permit extension. Then choose IRCC Secured Account. Now you can sign into your account. So I am in my IRCC secured account now, and here is what you are going to see. Under this part, you can view all the application that you have submitted here. If you open an application and haven't submitted it yet, you can see it over here. Usually you have 60 days to submit an application. So considering in this cases here, you haven't applied for anything yet, please go to start an application and click on applying to come to Canada. Under I do not have a personal reference code, and then determine your eligibility and applying online, click on visitor visa, study, or work permit. Here, you are going to answer the series of questions. What would you like to do in Canada? You're applying for the study permit extension, so study. How long are you planning to stay in Canada? Temporary, more than 6 months. Select the code that matches the one on your passport. So this question asks to choose the country of your citizenship. So in this case, it's over here. I'm just gonna choose India. What is your current country or territory of residence? You are in Canada now, so you should choose Canada. Do you have a family member who is a Canadian citizen or permanent resident and is 18 years or older? You can click it under family member to see who are considered as your family member and then answer based on your situation. For this information today, I'll choose no. And then enter your date of birth. I just choose it randomly. And then click next. Do you have a provincial or territorial attestation letter or meet an exception from submitting a provincial or territorial attestation letter? This question asks about your PAL. So answer based on your situation. If you have PAL, choose yes, I have a PAL. If you don't have a PAL, but meet an exception from providing province attestation letter, choose yes, I meet an exception from submitting a provincial or territorial attestation letter. I will choose the second option now. Next. Are you a lawful permanent resident of the United States with a valid U.S. citizenship and immigration services number? Answer based on your situation. I'll choose no for this presentation. What is your current immigration status in Canada? You are a student. Are you a student residing in Canada who is changing your designated learning institution? So answer based on your situations. Since we are talking about current Humber student applying to extend the study permit, so I'll choose no. What is your marital status? Answer based on your situation. What is your province or territory of destination? Remember that all Humber campuses are located in Ontario. So based on that information, you will see an option to apply for the study permit in Canada, which is a thing that we need. Click continue under study permit in Canada. The system will ask you several more questions to generate the checklist for you. Are you accompanying a family member who has status in Canada? Answer yes or no based on your situation. Do you also want to apply for a work permit? Here, they want to know whether you want to apply for the co-op work permit or not. So if you do need a co-op work permit, answer yes. When does your status in Canada expire? So this is regarding when your study permit expired. Please check your study permit and answer this question based on that. For the purpose of this presentation today, I will choose December 2025 on the 31st. Have you had a medical exam performed by an IRCC authorized panel physician within the last 12 months? Answer basing on your situation. For the purpose of this presentation, I'll choose no. So here you will get more information regarding who need to do the IME. So a medical exam is needed before you submit your application for a foreign national who want to stay in Canada for more than 6 months and have lived in one or more designated country or territory for more than 6 months in the past year, or intended to work in one of the following jobs. So during the past year, if you live in any country for more, not Canada, for more than 6 months, then you should click it on the designated country or territory here. See if that country is in that list or not. And if you intended to work in any of the following job, then you have to answer yes as over here. If not, choose no, basing on your situation. Will you be getting a medical exam before submitting the application? Answer yes or no basing on your situation. But if you have to do IME, we recommend to do it before submitting the application to speed up the processing of your application. I'll choose yes for now. Do you want to submit an application for a family member? Answer yes or no basing on your situation. Are you giving someone access to this application since you are doing the application yourself? For most of you, that should be no. In the past 10 years, have you given your fingerprints and photo biometric for an application to come to Canada? Answer yes or no basing on your situation. For most of you, that should be yes. However, check the date of the biometrics and then answer that basing on your situation. There are fees associated with this application. Will you be paying your fee or are you fee exempt? Answer basing on your situation. For most of you, you will have to pay the application fee yourself. Are you able to make a digital copy of your documents with a scanner or camera? Choose yes, or else the application will not allow you to continue. Will you be paying your application fee online? Yes. Here, you will be able to review your answer. If there's anything you want to change, click it on the pencil button over here and you will be able to modify that. If everything is good, click on continue. And here, there are some information regarding the application. Read it and then click on continue. Here are the document checklists that the system generated for you basing on your answer. You will see that you have to submit the form IMM 5709 and we will talk about it in more detail later. Under supporting document, your PAL or the document to prove that your PAL exam should be uploaded here, co-op letter here, letter of acceptance or confirmation of enrollment would be in here, passport would be in here, proof of means of financial support. All the documents should be merged into one file and uploaded here. Your digital photo would be in here, and your proof of upfront medical exam would be in here. Under optional document, the Schedule 1 is optional. It's up to you whether you want to provide it or not. And client information is where you upload your letter of explanation. Even though that's under optional document, we strongly recommend you all to provide this information. So prepare your letter of explanation and upload it here. By the end of that, you can see that the fee to do the study permit extension would be $150. After you upload all the files over here, you will be able to go into the next page where you pay the fee and then submit your application. Now, I'm going to go into the form IMM 5709. When you click it on over here, the system will open a new pages where you can download your forms over here. If you have any problem, you can click it on over here and see the instruction on how to download and open the form from your Mind computer. I'm having the form ready here, so I'm going to open the form now. So on my screen right now is a form IMM 5709. Before you fill in this form, I would recommend to have your study permit and passport ready because you will need that information there to fill it in your form. When you download this form directly from your IRCC Secure account, most of the time that would be the latest version. However, if you download the form and then after that cannot finish it at one and take some other time to going back, then please note the date over here at the end of the page and make sure that the form that you are using would be the latest version. So for the first question, number one, UCI. UCI or Unique Client Identifier is an 8 or 10-digit number. You will find it near the top of your study permit under here. So question 2, I want services in choose English or French basing on your own preference. Please note that whatever language that you choose here will be the language that IRCC will use when communicating with you regarding this application. Number 3, I am applying for one or more of the following. You are applying for the study permit, extend study permit for the first time or extend your study permit. Enter your full name it over here. I would suggest to go into your study permit, whatever is listed under family name, copy it and enter it under family name it over here. Whatever is listed under given name, then enter that under the given name in the form. If the given name in your study permit was blank, then leave the given name in your form blank as well. If the detail in your study permit is different from your passport, then please contact IRCC or contact our ISA team for more support. Have you ever used any other name? If you have a nickname before and saying yes over here and enter the detail it over here. Enter your sex, date of birth, place of birth, country or territory, and citizenship. Current country or territory. You can see that since you indicate that you are currently in Canada, so your current country or territory is noted as Canada here already. Your status, you are student. And in form and to enter your information. From would be the issue date of your study permit, and to would be the expiration date of your study permit. If you have more than one study permit, then from would be the issue date of your first study permit, and to would be the expiration date of your current study permit. Previous country or territory of residence. In this question, they ask that during the past 5 years, have you lived in any country other than your country of citizenship and your current country for more than 6 months? So, for example, your country of citizenship is India. You are in Canada right now. So during the past 5 years, if you live in any other country, not Canada, not India, for more than 6 months, then you have to answer yes and provide the detail it over here. If not, choose no. Enter your marital status and the information provide information regarding that. Under language, enter your information. I want to point out that at 1D, the question is, have you taken a test from a designated testing agency to assess your proficiency in English or French? For most of you, it should be yes, because before you applying for the program at Humber, most of you have to provide the result of your language testing. So this question only asks if you take a test before. It never asks if the test is still valid or not. Here, under your passport number and country or territory of issue, in the cases that you applying for the passport extension or renew your passport while you are in Canada, please note that even though you do the application, you submit the application in Canada. Canada is not the country who issue you the document. It is your country of citizenship who issue you that document though. National identity document. This is not passport. If you have any other document, not the passport, that can be used as an ID in your home country, provide an information regarding it over here. If you don't know whether your country have it or not, simply do the Google search and it will tell you. US PR card, if you have it, enter that information over here. Contacting information. It is extremely important that you enter the correct information in this part, because if your application is approved, your new permit will be mailing to you based on that information over here. Therefore, the mailing address should be correct and it should be the secure place where you can receive the document. If you're planning to move soon, or if the current place where you are living is not safe to receive the document, you can borrow this address from your friends or family member and enter it over here. So the first point, P.O. Box. This is not postal code. Postal code is here. P.O. Box is a rent box that you can rent from the post office to collect mail and parcel. If you have it, enter it. If not, leave it empty. Application and unit. If you live in a building or if you live in the townhouse, then apartment number or unit number would go here. Street number would be in here and the street name would be in here. Enter the rest of the information here. If the place where you are living now is the same as a mailing address, choose yes here. If not, choose no. And then you will enter the place where you are living now here. Enter your phone number and email address. Alternate phone number and fax number are not important. In case of alternate phone number, this is another phone number that you have. This is not the phone number of your friends or family member, because IRCC will never contact those people without your consent form. Coming into Canada. Question number 1 asks about the date and place of your original entry to Canada. This is the first time in your life that you're going to Canada. So enter the dates is over here. Place, this is the name of your first airport that you reach when entering Canada, or that would be the name of the border if you drove to Canada. Enter the original purpose for coming to Canada here. And since you're coming to Canada, if you ever leave Canada, then enter the date and place of your most recent entry to Canada here. Question number 4, enter the document number of your study permit. That is it will appear in your study permit up in the right corner here, and usually started with letter F, following by number. Detail of intended study in Canada. I have been accepted at the following educational institution. Enter the name of Humber here. Enter your level of study and field of study. In terms of the address, enter the address of your campus, whether that would be North, Lakeshore, or Downtown campus. Designated Learning Institution or DLI number, you will find that in your letter of acceptance. Enter your student ID, duration of expected study. From would be the day that you submit the application, and to would be the day of your last day at school plus an extra 90 days. For example, you are in the last semester now in fall 2025, so your last day at school would be in December 2025. Therefore, in to over here, you're supposed to answer 90 days after December, which is in March 2026. The course of my study will be tuition. If you have more than 1 year left in your study, enter the tuition of your first year. If you have less than 1 year, enter the remaining tuition for your program. Room and board. This is how much you have to pay for rent and for food for at least 1 year, for 1 year or for the remaining of your program. Fund available for your stay. In this question, IRCC want to know about the fund that available to you, not how much money you have in your bank account though. My expenses in Canada will be paid by. Enter whether you are going to pay for your study yourself or your parent or some other will pay for that. In addition to your study permit, are you also applying for the work permit? So here you are going to indicate whether you need a co-op work permit or not. If you want to apply for the co-op work permit together with the study permit, choose yes. And then in here, choose co-op work permit. Enter the Quebec acceptance certificate if you have it. Enter PAL information if you have it. Education. Have you had any post-secondary education? For all of you, since you are a student at Humber, that should be yes. And then you can enter the program it over here. Before you graduating from Humber, if you're already graduating from another post-secondary education, then enter the information regarding that one here. For example, you're graduating from the master program in your home country, and then you're going to Humber to study in a post-education program. Then here, you are going to enter the information regarding your master program because it is at the higher level than your current program right now. Employment. In this part, you are going to give detail of your employment in the past 10 years. If you are working now, enter the job that you are working. Make sure you leave a note regarding that it's a part-time if that's an off-campus job, or on campus if that's an on-campus job, and enter your information. If you currently is not working, then your current activity should be that you are a student, and then you enter the information regarding Humber over here. From activity number 2, if previously, before starting at Humber, you have another job, then you can enter the information over here. The form will give you 3 slots to enter the employment. If you need more than that, then you can include this information in your letter of explanation. In that case, simply type it down over here that please see letter of explanation. Background information. It is extremely important that you read and understand all this question before answering. I only want to point out until question 2B and 2C. Have you ever been refused a visa or permit, denied entry, or ordered to leave Canada or any other country or territory? Please note that the form asks about information regarding your Canada permit and other country as well. So make sure you answer yes or no based on your situation. C. Have you previously applied to enter or remain in Canada? For all of you, it has to be yes, because you already have another applying for a study permit and you are applying for the study permit extension now. Under D, briefly provide the detail regarding your answer in question 2B and 2C. If you need more space, type C explanation letter and then provide the detail here in your explanation letter. Under signature, do you consent to be contacted by CIC or an organization at CIC's request in the future? Answer yes or no, basing on your own reference. Under signature, type your full name. Do not print out this form or sign electronically. Just simply type your full name here. Under the date, enter the date that you will submit the application. Once you fill in all this information, please click on the Validate button. If you haven't finished the form yet, whatever field that you are missing will be highlighted in red, and you can go over there to fill in all the information. If everything is complete, then you can see a series of barcode showing in the next pages over here. In that way, you will know that you successfully complete and validate the form. Please save the form so that you know that would be the form that you are going to upload in your study permit extension application. So that's about the IMM 5709. Now let's go back to our slide. After you apply for your study permit extension, so please note that the current processing time is 167 days. However, this timeline may vary depending on IRCC's processing capacity. We encourage students to regularly check the processing time on IRCC website. And here is a link that you can go and check it here. As long as you submit your study permit extension application before your current permit expires and stay in Canada, you will be in maintained status. This means you can continue studying, working, and engaging in all activity permitted under your existing study permit until the decision is made on your application. If your application is approved, IRCC will notify you via email. A hard copy of your new study permit will be mailed to the address provided in your application within 6 weeks. Once you receive your new permit, you can visit Service Canada to extend your SIN or apply for the new visa if needed. So thank you for attending our workshop today. We hope this session has given you the confidence to apply for your study permit extension successfully. If you have further questions, North and Lakeshore campus students can submit the inquiries through the International Center contact form. Downtown campus student, please submit your question via your MyIGS portal. You can also meet with our ISA team in person during our working hour, Monday to Friday from 10 to 12 in the morning and 2 to 4 in the afternoon. Once again, thank you for joining us.